This video contains spoilers for Markiplier's Iron Lung movie. Please do not watch it if you haven't seen it yet and do not wish to be spoiled. All theories on Hawaii Part 2 and Iron Lung are my own, from my own observations of analysing each. Hi, this is Amazing Purple Girl, and I am a big fan of the album Hawaii Part 2 by Miracle Musical. I've also seen Iron Lung in the cinema a total of 5 times. Sounds extreme, but this movie is incredible. Many people who enjoyed it have either gone for a subsequent viewing or they wanted to, because you do not pick up everything on your first watch. So this video is to analyse and examine the similarities between the two pieces of media. What does this have to do with this? Actually, more than you might think. Even though these theories are my own conclusions, a lot of the ones explored in Hawaii Part 2 are quite common among the fans of the album. So let's start with our protagonists. From the demo of The Mind Electric, titled Inside the Mind of Simon, we know that Simon is the name of the main character going through the journey. And from the movie, we know Simon is also the name of the convict. I would be interested if it was David Szymanski who named or suggested the name to Mark, because Mark is known not to really interact with music in his life. It seems far more likely that David knows of Miracle Musical. I brought this up on Discord, and a fellow Markiplier fan said he definitely knows Tally Hall, which was interesting to me. I don't know if this is a known fact or just speculation, but there we go, both protagonists are named Simon. Then the other obvious comparison is the monster, or symbolism of one. In both, it is represented by an anglerfish. It is my belief that the fish is the siren mentioned in Dream Suite in C major.
A siren sounds like the goddess who promises endless apologies of paradise.
So here is the first spoiler and theory for Iron Lung. The monster, known as Ellie, is also a siren, but one made up of all the people in the blood ocean. The voice supposedly coming from SMH says the blood is us. So in both cases, an anglerfish, disguised as a siren, is calling Simon to his doom. The monster is a lot more like an anglerfish in the game, but I could see a ball of light as the photo faded on the so-called skeleton first photographed by Simon in the movie. So what are the less obvious comparisons? I would like to say that in some way, convict Simon is
alone at the edge of a universe.
He is certainly alone for most of his time in the SM-13. Okay, it isn't exactly the edge of a universe, but it is the bottom of an alien ocean, which is like the edge of a universe. There is nowhere to go, and it is unknowable. There is the white light, which could be compared to
higher than the sun, invisible to some till it's time.
Particularly as the siren talks about God. In the song, it is representative of heaven. Then we have the voices both are listening to. Hawaii Simon has the Earl King in his head, as I spoke about in my video on murders. This could be because the inner voice is taking over here, so it's not her that's changed, but him.
She found the Earl King.
She did find a new side of Simon, his inner voice.
Father, your honor, may I explain? My brain has claimed its glory over me. I've a good heart, albeit innocent.
He recognised his inner voice in murders and can only plead insanity as he was not in control of himself. This voice takes over Simon and brings about the murder of his girlfriend. In the movie, convict Simon hears one voice also, in the form of the researcher who was on board the SM-8. This voice brings about Simon getting Ava killed. Though Simon is an unwitting accomplice and he does not have his personality overwritten, he is already Simon the Butcher. What is one more death by his hands? He speaks plainly that the destruction of Filament Station was not supposed to happen, but a voice later says the person that simply told him to cross the wires wasn't even there, which in my mind makes Simon guilty despite his protestations of innocence. I believe also that the monster can see Simon's true nature and he can't lie to them. Both Simons are murderers, being led to the conclusions of their actions. And I'm sorry if this is something you don't want to hear as a fan of Iron Lung. Yes, I do believe Simon is guilty. There is delusion and deception. Convict Simon does not see the decay of the interior of the sub, nor does he notice his injuries once the blood hits him in the face. We see this as the blood disappears until much, much later, right near the end of the movie, where Simon seems to wake up and has a burn mark across his face where the blood hit him. Without being able to check again at the moment, I think this is after the voice recording from the real researcher on the SM-8. He then notices the blood is burning him, both where it hits his forehead from above and from the bubbling wounds under his bandages. Hawaii Simon was kept
Looking to find the flowers in the garden.
as his body was used to murder his girlfriend. He is woken up first by the discovery of the body and later with electroshock therapy. Both Simons are left with no options. Hawaii Simon lives long enough, imagining he can make a time machine and correct the wrongs that took place out of his control. This can only be in his head as he's locked away in the infirmary to die, whilst Dream Suite in C major plays out his last moments. Convict Simon lives to destroy the monster and in some way atone for his past sins of being the Butcher. Unexplained passings of time. In Space Station Level 7, the singer mentions, and in The Mind Electric, Simon states,
I was just a boy, you see.
In Iron Lung, Simon states that he has lost track of time, and Ava says it has been days since their last communication. We also see some very odd occurrences of where Simon appears to be at the controls of the sub and also operating the camera at the same time. At one particular point, it looks like Simon is having an out-of-body experience as he dazedly wanders away from himself at the controls, backwards towards the camera button like he's on autopilot. The theme of being stranded. It goes without saying that Convict Simon is very much stranded in the ocean, a metaphor that is also explored in Stranded Lullaby.
I'd like to know why you are all alone while I'm lost at sea.
This Simon isn't literally stranded, such as the one in Iron Lung, but I thought it was very interesting that another parallel came up. Death. Convict Simon says to Ava something along the lines of, I thought I had died. I might have died. In Dream Suite, Hawaii Simon states,
It feels like flying, but maybe we're dying.
I don't believe Convict Simon died, but I can understand why he felt that he might have done. He's still in his false perception at this point and nothing feels quite right, as he mentioned. He also took his visit to face the monster in the ocean, and even though he doesn't know it yet, he is dying at this point. The radiation from the camera is stated in the manual to be 6,000 milligrams, causing acute radiation poisoning and to use at your own risk. That's what I got from the quick glimpse. Simon uses the camera much more than he should have done, leaving it to operate by itself whilst being held down with tape. Also, he has a light to see by, and later to take photos whilst he navigates. When he wakes up, we can see tendrils in that same shape, crossed over the camera button, infinitely taking photos and exposing Simon even more. Light. This plays a big part in Iron Lung, which I will come to. In The Mind Electric, light is mentioned as the electricity that gives Simon lucidity.
Think of these thoughts as limitless light, gathering sparks of thought energy, and it grows bright.
The voice that played him is gone. He is left not knowing who he is. In some ways, the light took away his clarity. For Iron Lung, the light is what caused the quiet rapture, according to the researcher. Simon sees the light at the coordinate 116520. as did she. And then the lights, the stars all go out, which I can see as a parallel to what I just described in The Mind Electric, that Simon had all the sparks which then all went out. It is funny to think of the sky as a brain, full of energy that should never go dim.
Few dying ships in a sea of dead stars. Hope in this void is as illusionary as the starlight.
So these are the parallels I see running through both pieces of media. Both are well thought out, thought-provoking pieces of art that require questions to be asked and maybe not answered. You can't be passive with either of these to truly understand them, and I'm so glad I got to experience both.
I just want to live. Is that so wrong? Why doesn't anybody else want that?